John Banaszak graduated from Holy Name High School in 1968. He served in the U.S. Marine Corps for 2 years before entering Eastern Michigan University, where he played football and earned a degree in health, physical education, and recreation. Mr. Banaszak signed on as a free agent for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1975, where he played on championship teams in Super Bowl X, Super Bowl XIII, and Super Bowl XIV. He started at defensive end in both Super Bowl XIII and XIV and won the Defensive Player of the Game award in Super Bowl XIII. Mr. Banaszak won the Elite Holy Name Special Recognition Award in 1976. This award has only been presented to 6 people in the history of Holy Name High School. Past winners include Mrs. Tracy Thomas and Eugene T. Kukowiak. Mr. Banaszak served as head football coach of Washington and Jefferson University from 1999 to 2002, compiling a record of 38-9. He is currently the head coach at Robert Morris University. He and his wife Mary, who also was in the Holy Name class of 1968, have 3 children and reside in McMurray, Pennsylvania. Mr. John Banaszak.
President Farmer, Principal Blanc, faculty, alumni, parents, friends, and the graduating class of 2014. Words cannot express the privilege and honor it is for me to deliver this commencement speech at my alma mater, dear old Holy Name. The task of delivering a meaningful message to 157 eager and exciting young men and women has consumed me ever since Mr. Farmer extended his invitation. I have given a countless number of speeches in the past 46 years, but none as important as this one. This day belongs to you. It is an end and a beginning. Today unites the past, the present, and the future. The past recognizes the effort it took for you to get here, and the future belongs to you in your dreams. You already know that my wife Mary and I are products of Holy Name High School. I was invited to tell the story of 2 kids from the corner of Broadway and Harvard. 2 kids that were classmates. 2 kids that fell in love and have carved out an awesome life together. I have the experience of knowing an awful lot about how Holy Name has prepared you for your future. Mary and I have been married for 42 years. I easily admit that Mary is the more accomplished one in our relationship. She is the CEO and president of Greenbrier Treatment Center in Washington, Pennsylvania. Greenbrier is a drug and alcohol treatment facility. She deals with the demons of addiction on a daily basis, and I'm still involved with the game of football. 46 years ago, we sat in the seats that you are in today. Mary was already enrolled in nursing school, but I was totally uncertain about my future. I knew that education was the key to the future, but I hadn't figured out yet how I was going to get there. With no football scholarship and no other way to pay for my education, I joined the United States Marine Corps. I've gone from the corner of Broadway and Harvard to the Marine Corps, from the Marine Corps to a walk-on football player at Eastern Michigan University, from Eastern Michigan to an undrafted rookie free agent and a 3-time Super Bowl champion, from the Super Bowl to a successful entrepreneur and businessman, from the business world to a college football coach. A journey certainly on the road less traveled. Much of my success is due to the fact that I have been associated with 3 elite organizations: the United States Marine Corps, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Holy Name High School. There is a Marine Corps way: the few, the proud, the Marines. Semper Fidelis, always faithful. Once a Marine, always a Marine. There is the Pittsburgh Steeler way, the model franchise of the National Football League, a cut above, Steeler Nation. There are 31 other teams in the National Football League than there are the Pittsburgh Steelers. Once a Steeler, always a Steeler. I kind of figured I'd get some kind of reaction out of that. There is a Holy Name way: mind, body, and spirit, Christian values, the Little Davids, the Green Wave. All hail Holy Name. Once a namer, always a namer. The many things that Mary and I have shared in our lives have deep roots in what was instilled in us at Holy Name: the Christian values and morals, the principles of mind, body, and spirit are in the foundation of our marriage and our success. Make no mistake about it, we both truly believe that we are very lucky, we are very fortunate, and we are extremely blessed. We have 3 wonderful children and 6 beautiful grandchildren. There are many people that were a huge influence in my life. One of my favorite high school teachers, Mr. Emil Maris, was one of them. Mr. Maris taught us more than just Chaucer and the Canterbury Tales and Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. He taught us boys. You see, back then, English class was all boys and all girls. He taught us boys about being tough guys. He told us there isn't anything wrong with being a tough guy, as long as you're a smart, tough guy. There's no question that in the next 4 to 6 years, it's going to be very important for you to be tough guys and tough girls. Your challenges and your decisions are much different than the ones we had 46 years ago. The world is a much different place. Everything you do or say is subject to exposure. Our notes, our letters, and our feelings were written in private. Your notes, your letters, and your feelings are posted for everyone to examine. Make one mistake in an email, a Facebook post, or a tweet, and it's there forever. You must be very careful and diligent about your privacy. What you write, video, or photograph today can be used against you years from now. My life has been a series of serious challenges and tough decisions. I've been able to take advantage of the opportunities that I have been afforded. The best advice that I can give you is to find something that you are very passionate about and go for it with every ounce of energy that you can generate. Prove people wrong. Show everyone that you can do it. Be the best, be strong, be tough, be brave, be proud, and be selfish. I know that you've been taught by your parents and your teachers to be unselfish, to help others, to give back, and to share. In the next 4 to 6 years, the most important years in your development, you have to flip that. You have to become very selfish. You must guard your future with the focus and determination that is necessary to become successful. For a long time, Sir Winston Churchill was credited with giving the shortest commencement speech of all time. It was said that his commencement speech at Oxford University immediately after World War II was, "Never give up, never give up, never give up." 9 words, the shortest commencement speech ever given. Never give up was the attitude of the English people during World War II. That is the attitude that successful people must have. Never give up. The attitude that you will exhaust all avenues of retreat in order to win, in order to be successful. I would like to be able to stand in front of you tonight and tell you that the road to your success will be smooth and easy. It won't be. You will face tough times, difficult situations, obstacles, and setbacks. But you must never, never give up. You must fight hard. You must win. A few weeks ago, the National Football League held its annual draft. And I hear Cleveland had a pretty good draft. In today's draft, there are 7 rounds in the NFL draft. In 1975, I was awaiting the National Football League draft. In 1975, there were 17 rounds in the draft. 476 players were taken over those 2 days, and I wasn't one of them. I was devastated. I couldn't believe it. From all the indications we had, I was to be drafted between the 4th and the 7th round. Not being drafted, however, turned out for the good. Immediately after the draft, I was contacted by 5 teams: the Detroit Lions, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Buffalo Bills, New England Patriots, and the New York Giants. I studied the offers of all 5 of those teams and made a decision to sign with the defending champion, Pittsburgh Steelers. My fight and my determination came from my playing days at Holy Name High School. Our 1967 team finished 7-1. We lost, 8-1. We lost to St. Ignatius 7-6. 1 point kept us from winning a championship. And because of that, I wanted to play on a championship team. I wanted to feel what it was like to be a champion. I signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and when I got back to campus, my best friends, my college teammates told me I was crazy, insane, out of my mind. You can't make that football team. They just won the Super Bowl. They have the steel curtain. You can't make that football team. Those were the kind of friends I had back then. It gets better. I called home. And I said, "Dad, I just signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers." and I heard click. That is a true story. My father hung up on me. That's how deep that rivalry is. I immediately called him back. And I said, Dad, I know that the operator disconnected us. There's no way you would have hung up on me on one of the most important days of my life. And there was dead silence. I went through a 7-minute monologue about all of the reasons why I signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then I finally told him, Dad, I'll give you some time for that to sink in. But if you want to come and see me play, other than when Cleveland goes to Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh comes to Cleveland, you're going to have to become a Steeler fan because I'm going to make that football team. And then I heard a deep sigh on the other end of the phone. And I heard these words, how am I going to tell your mother? I have 6 brothers and a sister, and he named them all. How am I going to tell the relatives, the neighbors, how am I going to go to work tomorrow? My dad became a tremendous Steeler fan, and he was very proud. And he attended and watched, he watched his son win 3 Super Bowls. The coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers at that time in 1975 was Chuck Noll. Chuck Noll is a Hall of Fame NFL football coach. He is a Benedictine high school graduate. His favorite words to his team were, whatever it takes. If I heard Coach Noll say that one time, I heard him say it 1,000 times. Whatever it takes for you to prepare, whatever it takes for you to practice on a daily basis, whatever it takes for us to win this week's game, whatever it takes for us to make the playoffs, whatever it takes for us to win a Super Bowl. Whatever it takes. Going into training camp in 1975, I knew that I only had one chance, one opportunity to make that football team. I was a 25-year-old rookie because of my Marine Corps years. That's one of the reasons why I wasn't drafted. I knew that I had to outwork everybody in order to make that football team. And because I only had one shot, that was okay with me. I was willing to do that. I made that football team for a number of different reasons. Reason being that I could play on special teams. After making the team, I was approached by my position coach, George Perlis, who was a former Michigan State University head coach. And Coach Perlis told me this. He said, you can forget about playing on Sundays. You're not good enough to beat out Dwight White, Ernie Holmes, Mean Joe Green, or L.C. Greenwood. You made this football team because you are the only scout team offense and defensive lineman. Your job is to prepare this offensive line and defensive line to play the game on Sunday. And then Saturday is your day. That's the day we go over our special teams. Well, Coach Perlis was absolutely right. First 9 football games, all I did was play on the special teams. But in the 10th game, things changed. Dwight White was going to miss the game because of an ankle injury, and Steve Furness was going to replace him. That left me as the only available defensive lineman on the field that day. In the middle of the first quarter, L.C. Greenwood got his leg caught in a pile and twisted his knee. As the medical staff was administering to an injured L.C. Greenwood, George Perlis was administering to me. You can't get hooked, you can't get reached. Oh my God, isn't there anyone else I can put in the game? I kind of looked at him strangely, and then he said, you can't get hooked, you can't get reached, there has to be somebody else I can put in the game. And I said, Coach, I'm the only guy left. I gotta go in. So I started away from him. But before I could get arm's length away from him, he pulled me back, looked me right in the eye, and said, don't blow it. With that motivational message ringing in my helmet, I ran out onto the field. From the time it took me to get from the bench to the field, which is another reason why I wasn't drafted, I realized that Coach Perlis is absolutely right. This was my one chance. This was my one opportunity to prove to the other teams in the league that didn't draft me that I could play in the National Football League. Then I got into the huddle. And I looked to my right, and there was Mean Joe Green. I looked to my left, and there was Jack Ham. In front of me, ready to call the signals, was a toothless Jack Lambert. I was immediately at ease. I was surrounded by 3 future Hall of Famers. How bad could I blow it? Even if I got blown off the ball by 5 yards, my teammates would be there. And then I realized where Houston was going to run the football, they were going to test me right away. The rookie free agent. They had already tested Steve Furness and Ernie Holmes and Joe Green. They were going to run the ball right at me. And that's what they did. And I shed the block and made the tackle and was getting pretty excited about it. It is now 3rd and long, an obvious passing situation. And I got back in the huddle, and Joe Green said to me, hey, John, do you want to run a twist? And I said, no, Joe, I think I can do this on my own. You guys maybe have been too young to ever have this occur to you, but did you ever say anything you wish you could grab the words and put them right back in your mouth? I just told Joe Green that I didn't need his help. And sure enough, I lined up. It's amazing. Football players in here, the athletes in here, understand what can go through your mind in a short split second. I can remember every pass rush technique that all my coaches, even Dick Donovan and Pete Pooker, went through my head. And I came off the ball, up the field, spun around. The Houston Oilers quarterback was right there, and I sacked him. My opportunity. I took advantage of it. I didn't blow it. It is my hope that the graduating class of 2014 still believes that America is the land of opportunity. Because your opportunity will come along at some point, at some time. Now, you may only have one chance, one opportunity. Some kids are lucky and they get 2 chances or 2 opportunities. And even more have 3 or 4 chances. Whatever opportunity comes along for you, Treat it like it's the only opportunity that you will ever get. And if you can do that, you will be very successful. Ronald Reagan once said, most people go through life wondering whether or not they've made a difference. Marines don't have that problem. And I've taken some editorial privilege and added, and good coaches and good teachers don't have that problem either. The good teachers and coaches at Holy Name High School don't have that problem. They have made a difference in your life. Follow the great example of these people that have helped you get here today, so that someday you can make a difference. Now, I know that my speech has been quite a bit longer than 9 words that the never-given speech of Sir Winston Churchill was. But in closing, I would like to leave you with 9 words from Sir Winston Churchill. Never give up. From Chuck Noll, Hall of Fame football coach. Whatever it takes. And from my defensive line coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, don't blow it. Thank you very much for inviting me this evening.